Welcome to the beautiful Buttermere here in the Lake District National Park. I've just finished a sort of 7-mile circuit going up Grasmoor round to Crag Hill and then down from Whittlers Pike, and now I'm basically just out on my second walk, so welcome to another video. It's going to be probably 3 o'clock by the time I get to the start of where I want to go, but basically we're heading around 4 miles. This is a really great sort of low level route, and we're going to go to Scale Force, which is a pretty spectacular, or so I've heard, set of falls. Don't know much about this route, not done it before, so really excited to check it out. And we're going to start by making our way down to the beginning or the head of Crummock Water.
I parked at the top end of Buttermere village, which overlooks Buttermere Lake and Crummock Water. It's a tranquil place with a great little cafe, a couple of pubs and a hotel.
Seriously feels so good to be here, and it's nice having done that loop already this morning, just sort of stretching my legs and keeping moving. Sometimes when you stop suddenly, when you're sort of getting back into the whole mountain pace, it gets a little bit sore. But no, feeling really good, and it should be nice actually, because this is a nice steady walk. There's lots of opportunities to extend it if I feel the need to do so, but I'm kind of trying to hold back because I've got a whole week ahead of me and I've got some big peaks that I want to get in, so just sort of warming my body back up to the pace, get a few more miles in today. Okay people, hold on to your hats because they're about to get blown off. Whether or not you've seen this view before, doesn't matter. It never, ever, ever gets old. Check it out. This place for me is just the ultimate breathing space. The sound of the water, the woodpeckers and the birds in the forest there, and otherwise just the silence.
I could never rush past such a heavenly view, always taking the time to note the ripples of wind on the surface of the water, the shades of colour in the trees, and the vast curtain of mountains that surrounded the area, as though protecting it from harm.
Best make some progress, I suppose. So we just head up to Sourmilk Gill, which is a beautiful fall that comes right down from Blueberry Tarn. So that's a video I've yet to film. And then we're going to head along towards Crummock Water and walk along the shore. Normally there's a bridge there. It appears to not be there. So let's try and cross this way. A lot of them are wobbly. Oh, this looks fun too. So we've got to have a look. This is Sourmilk Gill, as you already mentioned, flowing down from Blueberry Tarn. Not at full velocity today. In fact, it's looking pretty lazy, but still, it's great to be able to see it flowing all the way down. Oh, that is the smell of freedom. Oh gosh, I love Blossom. You're amazing. Keep blooming. Hi. So already we've left the crowds behind. Most people tend to walk along the shores of Buttermere, and as I'm bearing witness, the shores of Crummock Water tend to be much, much quieter. It makes it a great place to escape. I can hear a cuckoo just singing its song over there, and we've got various birds expressing joy in the trees. And speaking of trees, we've got this big old bank here of ancient woodland with the bluebells carpeting the floor alongside the mosses, and the trees, we've got oak and hazel and ash and silver birch. There's a real diversity of wildlife here. It's a wonderful place to walk.
I was soon catching glimpses of Buttermere Dubs that flows between Buttermere and Crummock Water, before emerging from the trees to a blissful open path. It was crossed frequently by little streams and had fantastic views all around.
Actually, it's really nice doing this walk this afternoon. please check out the video that I filmed this morning heading up over Grasmoor. So basically we were up there, which is insane. So we climbed up via Lads How all the way up to Grasmoor, circled round Crag Hill like I mentioned, came back down over Witless Pike, and then came down through the Rannerdale Valley, which was utterly spectacular with all of the bluebells. Really lovely. It was a lovely route, really recommend it, so please check out that video. But it's just nice now being able to look over like, wow, I was up there. It's really cool. Going off piste, gotta show you these guys. Check it out. So this here is cotton grass. It's super fluffy. It really is just like, I don't know, a dog's ears or something. But they're so nice. And you tend to find them growing in sort of wet patches like this. You also get this like hedgehog grass here. That's not its official name, but that's what most of us guys call it. But it just sort of covers the land and wafts about in the wind, and it's really nice. But it also makes great tinder as well. So if you ever need to start a fire, get your hands on some cotton grass and you're all good.
There were plenty of other flora species to enjoy as I walked along the path, such as the tiny yellow turbantills, grand and gnarled oak and birch trees, and of course, generous masses of bluebells, which caused a never-ceasing smile.
It's funny because most of the lakes in the Lake District have some kind of footpath around them, but many of them have at least one side that is dedicated to road. And I had to drive along that road earlier to get to the car park for where I wanted to start, and now I'm walking on this side, and you know, just right now is really emphasizing how much I prefer to be on foot, how much more you can see and take in. Obviously, yes, it's a lot slower, but it really is just a whole nother level of being able to connect with the landscape, just slowing down and breathing everything in. You just don't get that when you're on the road. Making steady progress, certainly not very fast today, but that's all right, just taking everything in. So we're just going to cross over Scalebeck now via this rather cool looking bridge, and then we'll begin to follow it up towards Scaleforce.
The path began to ascend as I headed away from the lake, but it was never strenuous, always gentle in its gradient.
Wow, look at this. Gosh, that's so beautiful. Okay, so the sound of falling water has reached my ears, indicating we can't be far away now from the Lake District's longest waterfall, 38 meters. In fact, if you add up all of the falls in Scalebeck, it comes to a whopping 52 meters. Oh, I'm so excited. Not far now. Oh my goodness, even with the little amount of rainfall that we've had recently, that is immense. That is so high. Whoa.
The walls around me as I entered the gorge were slimy and damp, but they didn't hold me up, nor did the massive boulders that littered the path. A few steps more and there it was. A sheer cascade of white water falling heavily from high above, roaring as it moved in warning to any obstacle in its path. It was narrower than I expected, but utterly magnificent, and I stayed for a long while before turning around and walking away.
Oh my goodness me. So I finally managed to pull myself away from Scaleforce. I just had to take that little stretch to just breathe, because that was the most insanely incredible thing I've seen in a long time. I've seen some cool waterfalls, but I wasn't expecting that. I was debating whether or not to even do this walk. If I knew that that's what that was like, oh thank goodness I did not do this. That would have been very sad. 2 negatives, did not. Thank goodness I did this. If you're in the area, you need to go there. Scale Force, flipping amazing. Anyway, I'm taking a very slightly different route back. Seems to be quite boggy, but then I'll be able to join the path again by Crummock Water, and we'll bomb that back to Buttermere. It is quite late now. I literally spent about an hour there just gawping and getting different shots and sort of soaking up the atmosphere. It had an almost quite like prehistoric element to it. I think when nature is showing such force, it kind of puts like humanity in its place, and that's what I felt. I felt really small. I felt like that was quite a sacred space, whatever sacred means, subjective, but that was very, very special. Anyway, moving now away from Scale Force. It's on my bucket list to go back there in winter to see what that really gets like. But yeah, incredible. This isn't the most obvious path I've ever followed. Just trying to avoid the bog, basically. Nice. Having left the noise of the falls behind, it suddenly feels quite a contrast to be out here on the open hillside where there's just hardly a breath of sound. The wind occasionally stirs the grass, but that's about it. Again, it just feels like the most treasured of spaces. But I'm sort of putting my foot down now, trying to just cover some ground quite quickly, just get back to the main path, and I'll be able to bomb it down to Buttermere. I don't really want to rush my time in this beautiful, beautiful place. There's nothing really to rush for, but I do just want to make sure I get back to camp with enough time to sort myself out, get rested, and then hopefully access the rest of the week full of energy and life. So in love with these bluebells. It's just really, really lovely to see that colour. Whew, here we go. Here's the main track, and just follow this all the way back to Buttermere now. Feeling a little bit bowled over by this truly special day today. The things I've seen, places I've been. It has been rather magnificent, actually. Not every day is like this in the Lake District, and I feel like I've just had a real treat. And you know, it's nice because I'm learning so much more about the value of just being in the moment. And when you're in a landscape like this, no matter where your mental health might be at, you're so pulled out of yourself because everything's so immense and it puts your life into scale. And actually the beauty, man, the beauty just, it does something to you. It speaks to like some primal inner version of yourself that goes, this is your home. This is where you can find rest and peace and safety. You don't have to fully understand this landscape. You don't have to master it and conquer it and climb every highest peak. You just have to stay open to it and be willing to journey, and it will heal you and grow you, and it will show you things you never thought you'd see. I'm just feeling so inspired, so humbled as well by the beautiful places that I've been today, and just a little bit breathless at the beauty. But it is so great because I live in the 21st century and I can capture it all on technology, and I can bring it to your screens. And if you can't make it here, then you can see it, and if you can make it here, then you can still see it. It's incredible, and I just really hope that I can capture these lands in the best possible way and showcase just how magnificent they are, to inspire you to perhaps come here for your very own adventures. So guys, thank you for journeying with me today. I'm walking straight back along the track that I walked up earlier. I'm gonna get to the car, drive to camp, grab a shower, snooze, and head off for our next adventure tomorrow. Thank you for journeying with me today. Enjoy your very own adventures, whatever they may be, wherever they may be. I'm sure they'll be fantastic. And until next time, guys, stay wild.